Hello and welcome to another episode of AI Takedown, which I was not expecting to be making, but everybody liked, commented, and subscribed on the last video, and I am very motivated by those three things as a content creator, so here I am again. I am now closer to 2,000 subscribers than I am to negative 2,000 subscribers, which has been the case since I hit 1 subscriber, but sometimes I think it's worth it to just celebrate the little things. In case you missed my last video about AI, I watched an AI video on Enron, which is a topic that I covered myself, but for 0.05% of the same viewership. And before you call me salty, I'll do it. Yeah, I am salty. That fucking sucks. It sucks to put in what would be a billion times the amount of effort, but in fact, a billion times 0 is still fucking 0. I'd encourage you to go ahead and watch the first video if you haven't done so already, because I am literally going to be picking up from exactly the midpoint of the last video. I don't know where the title card thing is. I've never used it before, but I'll try to put it in there. But if not, the long and short of it is a lot of awkward phrasing, a lot of awkward imagery, and a lot of just straight up misinformation. Anyhow, I'm just going to get back into it now.
Regular Enron employees told to pour their retirement savings into Enron stock.
There is not a piggy bank on Earth that looks like that. Why is the coin slot off to the side? I had to look this up to make sure I wasn't going crazy. It's either vertical, which is the most common, sometimes it's near the head horizontally, or if they're feeling super funky, they might make the mouth of the pig be like the coin slot. I don't even know what the AI was sampling to be like, yeah, that's what we should draw in order for it to be a piggy bank. I couldn't tell you.
Their 401k plan was basically Hail Enron.
Their 401k plan.
Every major Wall Street analysts still gave Enron glowing reviews, a buy rating. Many of them came from firms doing business with Enron.
Oh, come on. Even the reviews can't dodge the GPT M-dash? It's 2001. Nobody even knows what that is back then. And I'm not even going to comment on the visual representation of this being a website in the year 2000. Whatever. Who cares?
Just a casual, peace out. I'm done being brilliant.
I fundamentally hate this sentence. It would be poorly phrased even if it were written by a human, but it's not, because you can literally hear the M-dash after the words peace out. But I wanted to congratulate Jeff Skilling. This seems like it was a great day for him. His completely dislocated arm snaps perfectly back into its socket like it was nothing. And he's grown a huge hand. Great for clapping. Lots of great things for Jeff that day.
Ken Lay, the original gaslight alchemist, Enron's founder, returns as CEO and smiles like your grandpa after accidentally deleting your homework and says, "Hi, everyone."
Your Honor, what? What do those words mean? Similes only work as literary devices if the thing that they're being compared to makes sense. Smiles like your grandpa after deleting your homework? That doesn't make sense. Rerun the AI. It can do better than this.
But instead of sounding the alarm, Ken Lay treated it like a PR issue. His takeaway? We just need better messaging. Not, we're committing fraud.
Painfully slow delivery aside, I have to be a stickler here. You could make an argument for this as a creative choice if it were a creative choice and not a robot making garbage. But Ken Lay was not trying to tell anyone that Enron just had a bad image and that they needed to reposition. He was telling them not to panic. And those are, in fact, different things. One is brand rehabilitation. The other one is, stop, we're doing fine.
Who actually owns these mysterious off-balance sheet entities? Why does their financial statement look like someone beat it with a shovel? And Enron answers with a PowerPoint, 3 buzzwords, and a middle finger.
Getting it out of the way, Ken's now huge hand looks like a giant dick. But second off, hi, I lied. This is the real second thing. I didn't notice this upon multiple watches, but now I did because I was watching it slowly. Ken's hand also rotates back into place the same way that Jeff Skilling's arm rotates into place. So it's really good for everybody that they're having such restorative features. Super sad for Jeff that, back to the video. I realized when listening to this part of the video that they had basically said the exact same thing 5 minutes earlier. Look.
But ask a simple question. Wait, what do they actually do? And you'd get a shrug, a whiteboard, and 40 minutes of buzzwords. Who actually owns these mysterious off-balance sheet entities? Why does their financial statement look like someone beat it with a shovel? And Enron answers with a PowerPoint, 3 buzzwords, and a middle finger.
I'm guessing that this is probably the byproduct of some light editing and prompting, because damn is it embarrassing if an AI model just decided to include the same thought organically all in one go like that.
We are a revolutionary energy arbitrage trans-optimization platform. We leverage arbitrage between the notional volatility of mark-to-market derivatives within the structured energy swap framework. So, you have no idea either? Not a clue.
Awesome shot reverse shot where you just delete half of your characters for some reason. Also, why are there cogs there? High-powered stage, is it? Also, what's this? Are they tiny legs for the podium so I can get up and walk away from this dogshit excuse for narrative storytelling? Because that's the only thing I can think of.
Turns out, $586 million in earnings weren't real. That's not a typo. That's a stage 4 fraud cancer.
This is yet another prime example of the large language model favorite phrasing style of it's not X, but Y. But I also love how this one accidentally sells itself out because it says it's not a typo and then doesn't show you anything. Like, I understand maybe you could say, oh, well, you should like hear it aloud and be like, did he misread the words? But like, usually you would want to like visually reinforce that as a creator. Like that's what would make sense.
The stock collapsed.
Did you catch that?
The stock collapsed.
I had to play that back like twice. I'm not even kidding. It went so fast, my brain didn't know what was wrong, but knew that there was something that definitely was. I'm going to overlay the next clip with a previous clip from the first video. Let's see if you notice anything about it.
Then December came December 2nd, 2001. America's 7th largest company filed for bankruptcy. It was
I'm sorry that I had to play 2 different audio tracks, but if I didn't, you wouldn't have noticed the fact that they were literally the exact same clip with different audio. And even then, only slightly. They're the same exact phrase, basically, just with slightly different cadence. The only difference is that one transitions out into its next clip slightly faster than the other. It's egregious. Even for AI, it's egregious.
Why is this thing slower than our HR department? Maybe we should just stop shredding? Stop? We've got 12 years of fraud to erase and 1 lunch break to do it. Should I fix the shredder? Oh, thank God, an intern. Here, start eating. We're gonna need all hands. And mouths.
Okay, unfortunately, the last line is funny. But fortunately, the first lines are terrible. They should just skip directly to the intern bit because that's the only funny part. But the HR bit is slow, they should cut that, and it would also have the added benefit of getting rid of the embarrassing visual error that you may or may not have noticed while looking. But even though they did have a legitimately good joke here, it could still be improved by having matching visuals. You know, we're creatures with multiple senses. Appeal to all of them. Matching visuals is what you would expect of any human aware of the comedy that they are creating. You know what? I'll even show you. This is how this should look. Not to get all public school teacher on you. I can't draw these stick figures. Ooh, but this is stick figures, so really I don't even have an excuse. But let me pull up, I guess, a reference. We'll get the back of his head, which looks ugly. I'm sorry to anyone who looks like that. And then slide 2, and he's gonna be pounding his fist. There we go. That's it.
Here, start eating. We're gonna need all hands. And mouths.
This is immediately funnier for 10 minutes of work. You know, there's not a stand-up comic on Earth who doesn't practice the physicality that they have before they go on stage. It's a part of the act. Show me something!
But here's the twist. This wasn't just a story about Enron. It was a story about belief, about illusion, about what happens when the world wants to believe in something so badly that they stop asking questions.
Hey ChatGPT, could you do me a favor and make an outro, like, you know, spice it out? No, I cannot. But I am capable of restating everything that's been stated 3 times over and say, but here's the twist, as if they haven't been listening to explicitly this narrative the entire time. Oh, what? I didn't hear what you said, but yeah, whatever you said, do that.
There was a headline from years back titled, "Cocaine in River Thames is yet another problem eels don't need," says expert. And every single time that I talk about AI slop online, I feel like I'm the guy dumping the cocaine in the river. And that's just because everybody already has problems. We're struggling with our housing, we're struggling with unemployment, We're struggling with mental health, with equality, with climate change. There are a million different things we can fixate on. And here I am, some guy yelling about the fact that my video gets bodied by a piece of garbage that took no effort and acting like it's an equal problem. But then I remember that it is an equal problem because this is an existential threat to all creatives. If your response is, well, good thing I'm not creatively minded, then I'm assuming you're not logically brained either, because this very much still affects you. Let's be uncharitable and say that this impacts 30% of the working force, right? We're going to shoot low. It's not even half. It's going to be 30% is creative, right? Do you know what happens when an entire category of thought stops being able to be monetized? I'll give you a hint. And by hint, I mean the answer. We stop buying things because we have no money. And if we are buying things, it's less of the things. And that's going to impact you because you sell things, whether that be goods or services. Let's be charitable. Let's continue giving you good numbers. Let's say that it only impacts 15% loss in your sales. Now you're barely able to pay for overhead and you're still fucked. If you're thinking, well, okay, so that's fine. Somebody else has the money. They'll spend it on me. No, you're falling into the trap of trickle-down economics, which we tried here in the 80s, you might recall. It didn't work so fucking good, did it? The people who have the wealth will just hold on to it. They don't suddenly need 2 of your product because they have the money to buy it. They just hold on to the wealth. We have to stop rewarding garbage. And even as the garbage gets better in quality, you cannot compensate for the fact that that money used to pay for ecosystems. YouTubers then hire other people. But if it's an AI YouTube Slop channel, you know what they don't need? Anything other than their AI subscription, which pays, again, the top 1%. Thank you so much for watching. Please like, subscribe, and comment so that it tells the algorithm that you'd prefer stuff that's actually made by a human instead of mindless garbage like that. Also, if you haven't watched either my first video on this or my video on Enron, which again, I'm still quite proud of, I very much encourage you to do so, and I'll try to put both of the videos on the screen for you to click on. Last thing, I encourage reactions to any of my content. That includes literally everything, as long as I'm credited appropriately. If you want to create something with this video, or you have another creator that you think would be able to give great insight on this video, please go ahead and share it with them. I'd love to hear their thoughts. All right. Peace.